Hello again people. I'm Microsoft Sam, and today I gonna have to make a very important video that you should be very aware of. To anyone who has been with me for a long time, you may have known that I had a problem 2 nights ago when I got scammed in Discord, which got my Steam account hacked. And before anyone ever tries to make fun of me for giving someone my information, I was thoroughly ashamed of myself for letting all that happen, and the very last thing I ever wanted is people turning on me all because my account was previously hacked. And to anyone who still talks to me on Discord, and are aware that I had a situation when my Steam account was previously hacked, chances are, you either have dealt with a similar, if not the same, scam that tries to screw you over, or unfortunately your Steam account has already gotten hacked. Please keep in mind that some of the things I say about that situation I had will be a little rushed, because I was still a bit shaken by my first-hand encounter with Steam support scammers that unfortunately have been prowling all throughout Discord for a fairly long time, like sharks prowling the shorelines into making surfing, or even swimming, way too dangerous or even impossible. Also please bear with me that I hadn't taken enough screenshots of my experience with that scam, but whatever I'm gonna say will give out a good idea how that scam works, and how you should avoid that from happening to you in the future. Now, to avoid getting scammed in Discord, if someone messages you in your DMs and says that your account was going to be flagged for termination, I'd rather just tell them to go away and immediately block them afterwards, because they are money-grubbing scoundrels who are trying to steal your stuff. Then they'll try to refer you to someone who, apparently, works for Steam to sort the supposed problem out. Do not fall for this, because that account impersonating a Steam employee would most likely give you the realization that it's the same person operating behind these two different accounts. After this, the person will try to authenticate something on your account, supposedly, so that they'll try to review something that your account wasn't run by someone else, and will try to get you to fork out information regarding those past purchases you have made over the last several months. If you comply with all those things, then they'll ask you to log out of your account, which is the very moment that the scammer will now go in and take over your account. Again, do not fall for this. After complying to that, he'll then start a voice call with you without your consent, asks you to share your screen to the scammer, and will try to take you to certain websites that you shouldn't be going to. Like, for example, when I was still fooled by that scam, I was taken to something like MoonPay, which is a crypto site. Do not buy any cryptos, because we already know that NFTs are a big enough problem, and it's the #1 thing that'll get you financially ruined if you still comply to that scammer's demands. But the very last thing that has gone to the point where things have then gotten way too far is when he keeps on asking me for my bank info. Never, and I do mean never, give any of your bank info to them. Because then that scammer will rob everything from you, including all of your sensitive information that would have been stolen from you by that scammer. Avoid that from that happening to you at all costs. And if you refuse to give that scammer your bank info, he will then threaten you with things like legal action, followed by having the police come rush into your house. All of that bullshit. That last part, what that scammer said to me, after I got out of that ordeal. It was more than enough to get me all worried for hours, because I was still very much fooled into thinking all of that was going to happen. However, a day has passed, and no police ever came to our property, so I now am not as worried then. Unfortunately, this was also the realization that I have been caught in an online scam, and thus my Steam account was likely hacked from me, or in the scammer's words, deleted from me. What actually happens after the scam is that, when you're trying to look for your Steam account that has not been hacked from you, all you can see is that your profile page now becomes completely blank, an empty hacked husk of its former self. And when you're trying to look for your username to recover, you may end up seeing that your account's email address has been completely changed. What you'll notice is that the email address was now no longer the same as what you use for, with the first letter of each name being unrecognizable along with the rest of the address being censored out. And as for the password, tough luck, because that also has been changed, meaning you can no longer get your account back. Or can you? After watching several YouTube videos about how much of an issue Steam scammers are on Discord, as well as videos in getting hacked accounts back, I have decided to do some post-incident detective work, trying to screen cap as much evidence I could gather, and then email my hacked account issue to Steam support. In Rancid Coffee's video about how he too got scammed and gotten his Steam account hacked, his method of recovery is by creating an old Steam account to make up for his original that got hacked, as well as trying to trick the scammer by pretending he's lost. I, who wants to get my own account back as soon as possible, decided I needed to create a new account for that, because now, since I'm still logged into my grandfather's Xfinity account, I still had a chance in contacting Steam support from there, since his address was, and now again is, linked to my Steam account up, until it was hijacked by the hacker. To get your hacked account back, try to email Steam support about your problem, and let them know what you're actually gonna do. In my case, I wanted to let them know that I had problems logging back in since it was hijacked, but I got screen caps with me, as evidence that'll help me out in getting my account back, and I bet my method would definitely help out in getting yours back as well. However, I can't disclose any of that, because I really don't want this to be a template for any future scams to come back at me and steal back an account that isn't even theirs to begin with, because I still seriously need to protect myself from getting hacked again. So, if you want to tell them about the issue, please follow along what Rancid Coffee has written in his video, but please don't plagiarize anything what he said, just write down your own form and give them enough information for them to recover your account. After I contacted Steam support, I thought it would take days for them to respond, so I had to wait hours upon hours for them to message me. While I was waiting, I began to have those DMs from my friend's circle concerned about who is actually me and who was the hacker. I told them that I was the original owner of that account that had not been stolen from me at the time when they messaged me, which some even said they also were getting scammed by the same person that held my account hostage. I began to contemplate what's taking Steam support so long to respond to me, but by the time when I was given tacos from Taco Time, they did finally respond to me, and said they already had enough information for them to recover my account and transfer it back to my grandfather's Xfinity account. I am so glad that, in just one message, I finally got my account back with all of my achievements and Steam wallet still intact. Unfortunately, however, because of a security reset, my account had to be imposed with a temporary trade ban for 2 weeks. Nevertheless, I am still very thankful of Steam support for their efforts in recovering my hacked account. And for added security, I even put in a new password for my account, so that way it'll prevent any future scamming attempts from ever taking place again, because like what I said early on, they are all money-grubbing scoundrels who will do anything to find ways to steal your stuff. So now, here is my advice to anyone who uses Steam and Discord. If someone, out of nowhere, tries messaging you about how your account was going to be terminated for reasons that didn't make any sense, just tell them to go away and block them immediately afterwards, because they are trying to use fearmonger tactics into letting your guard down, and therefore steal your stuff. Don't let that happen to you, and please be sure to never make the same mistake like I have when dealing with scammers or hackers. Be extra careful in trying to look out for any clues that, if they are trying to be official, or are just simply being flat-out con artists. As much as I like to use Discord as a place for me to talk to friends and post my art there, I did notice that scammers happen to be frighteningly more commonplace in that platform, and if anyone who I didn't know would try to message me, with good intentions or otherwise, I'm gonna have to analyze the situation with extreme suspicion and caution before it becomes okay enough for me to respond to them. However, because I'm in so few servers I'm currently in, I didn't really have to worry about pretty much almost anything, since I still have plenty of friends there who are all there to look after me, because they do care about me. Unfortunately, because of that ordeal I had to put through about scammers, I am now even more afraid to join any of the larger servers still around in the platform, because, whenever you join in, there is a good chance that there might be a scammer or two present in that server. However, if you feel just about the same way as I was, we'll still go through this together. And if you know what you're doing in keeping scammers off you, then you should be okay. Oh, my issue has not been resolved. I'm gonna summarize my experience that, even after it's all over, was still scary for me. I had a friend who had been held hostage by some nasty hacker, and if anyone ever fucking dares to hack my account in any way, shape or form, then I'm gonna have their scammy asses kicked. To anyone who is looking for that issue to be resolved, then that's basically the end of the video for you. Of course, I'll still make some Microsoft Sam videos about me reading Windows errors or dumb and ridiculous signs, but I'm afraid I lost my motivation in doing so again, because I was still a bit shaken by those turnout events. Also, by the time of this video's making, I got a YouTube comment from G, saying to me that her account got hacked in the same way mine was, and I quickly replied to her saying that I'm so sorry she had to put up with that ordeal, and I refriended her in Discord into seeing me, saying that she too got her Steam account back, even though I already got my account back yesterday, so I'm glad her issue got resolved too. To anyone who is still subscribed to me wondering if they are gonna check in me to see if I'm okay, the entire problem I had has not been fully taken care of. Of course, I'm still a little distressed, and believe me, I'll still get through this, as I am slowly getting better. And I promise I'll still get Season 2 Episode 4 Part 2 out as soon as possible, because 2 weeks ago, my ear infection has now finally cleared up so I no longer have those hearing problems anymore. However, there's still a part of me where I still have to surf the internet with extreme caution, because I certainly don't want any scammers to come over and try to hack me again, nor do I want to give them any attention at all. So alas, I'm still not as focused on what I normally do as I used to be before that whole hacking bullshit happened to me. It was really scary, if you ask me. Well, that's all I have time for today. I hope you all understand about how my Steam account got hacked by a scammer, how you should avoid that same thing from ever happening to you, and taught you how to get your account back in an event if it does get hacked. And until next time, stay safe on the internet, and I'll see you all again in the next video. Cheerio.